obviously, you guys are no stranger to the bullshit that's out in these streets, but it's true. The port begging ponies and the fanboys, the pony media are at it again. They're going ahead and have their rumors out, and the rumors are escalating more and more. And now, to be clear, all of these fanboys, they all love Halo now. They're so pumped. Can't wait to play Halo. All those years talking that Halo was trash. Who wants Halo? Well,
they do.
This entire time. Okay, this entire time. Okay, so that being said, this is the rumor. Jez put out a new rumor from Nate the Hate to suggest that Final Fantasy VII Rebirth and Remake are heading to Xbox, with Halo Master Chief Collection and Flight Sim 2 heading to PlayStation 5 and Switch 2. But he added, Microsoft isn't stopping there, though. All right, so Nate the Hate 2 is the one who started this shit, and Jez is adding to the rumor. So let's go ahead and let's click it. All right. So rumor says Final Fantasy VII Remake is coming to Xbox in 2025, so this year, and more games head to PlayStation 5 and Nintendo. Okay, come on, fam, leave me alone. All right. So speaking on his podcast, Nate the Hate shared new rumors on Xbox's future plans, and we can corroborate at least some of them with our own sources. I still think we should start a rumor segment and just make up a bunch of rumors about games that are coming to Xbox from PlayStation, and see if we can.
Well, that would be all of them.
Yeah, exactly. But we have to start with ones that are going to hurt them first. You know what I'm saying? Like, we have to say a few, like, "Ooh, I heard that God of War." My sources. My sources told me.
Is it on Steam? Is it on Epic?
Ooh.
Oh, they're coming.
See, the problem, Heartgy, is that my version is like a rumor, and they're gonna have to stress about it. Yours is just facts, and that's what's gonna make them cry. You know what I'm saying? So, but says, speaking on his podcast, Nate the Hate shares some new rumors on Xbox's future plans, and we can corroborate at least some of them with our own sources. Says here, it's a new year for Xbox. That means new games. Just earlier this week, Microsoft revealed that its upcoming developer direct stream will showcase Doom: The Dark Ages, South of Midnight, and a mysterious fourth game that has yet to be revealed. On January 23rd, we'll catch a glimpse of what Microsoft is planning to offer its Xbox platform gamers throughout the year, which also boasts Avowed, The Outer Worlds 2, and Fable, if none end up delayed at least. Indeed, this shit, I'm gonna make this smaller because this shit is like wild. I don't need it that big to read this shit. Okay, get us out of here. There we go. Okay, on January 23rd, we'll catch a glimpse of what Microsoft is planning to offer its Xbox platform gamers throughout the year, which also boasts Avowed, The Outer Worlds 2, and Fable, if none end up delayed at least. Indeed, this year should prove to be something of a blockbuster for Microsoft, with more game launches in a single calendar year than they've ever had previously. See, if he was a true bot, what he should have said, with more game launches in a single calendar year than PlayStation has released its entire generation. Just saying, that's the truth. But says we should also see a new Call of Duty later in the year, as well as other surprises, both from the first party and third party publishers across Xbox and PC. As is well known by now, Microsoft is also making an effort to put its Xbox games onto other platforms. Today, credible tipster Nate the Hate shares some rumors on his podcast via Noble. For games we can expect to see hit PlayStation 5 and the unannounced Nintendo Switch 2 later this year. For Xbox fans, Nate the Hate suggested that Final Fantasy VII Remake is hitting Xbox in 2025, with Final Fantasy VII Rebirth aiming for 2026. So just to pause there for a second, this would be shocking to me, and I don't know how you guys see it, but I was kind of under the impression that it would be coming after the third game is released. Like that's what I thought. I thought that after the third Final Fantasy came out, like the final one they had, the final deal they have with PlayStation, then we would start getting them over.
I guess the contract is over.
Yeah, probably. So I don't know. I don't know. Again, obviously this is all rumors from this dude, so who the fuck knows? But it would shock me if it came this year, Final Fantasy VII Remake, and then Rebirth next year. It says according to Mr. Hate, Mr. Hate. It's not his fucking name. Like his name is not Nate the Hate. Like that's not his last name.
The is a middle name.
Like
that's his gamer tag, bro. Chill.
That's wild. According to Mr. Hate, he's gonna write about me and say Mr. CMoney. That'd be weird. According to Mr. Hate, Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024 and Halo: The Master Chief Collection are both slated for the multi-platform treatment, with each game launching on PlayStation 5 and Nintendo Switch 2. I can corroborate independently with our own sources that all of the above. See how this is so fucking stupid, and why it's so bullshit that any of this shit even comes out. I can corroborate independently with our own sources. That's a setup, right? That's making you feel like, oh shit, he's about to tell you that he looked into it and this is happening. But no, he says, I can corroborate independently with our own sources that all of the above is most likely true. Most likely, which literally puts us in the same
situation,
exact situation where if this doesn't come true, well, I said it's most likely, even though I corroborated it. Like, what corroboration did you do?
It's assertiveness and then maybe possibly likely.
Do you know what I'm saying? Like, how are you, what did you corroborate? You talked to the same, like you know what I'm saying? Like, what are we talking about? Does that make, am I
no, I hear it.
Right?
It's contradicting in the same sentence.
You know what I'm saying? Like what? Like why even mention? Like I can corroborate that I heard the rumor too. Like I just did. I heard it right now. I read it somewhere else. You know what I'm saying? From my own sources, I read it. You know what I'm saying? Like that's wild to me to even put that in a sentence next to each other when you're trying to corroborate. I can also independently let you know that it might happen. It seems that Microsoft isn't stopping there, though. As previously noted by Xbox CEO Phil Spencer, there are no quote unquote red lines when it comes to the games Microsoft aims to bring to other platforms. I noted in an analysis late last year that any Xbox game that is capable of making a good return on investment from going multi-platform absolutely will do so. Okay, so pause it right there again. Like, I don't know. This is maybe my brain can't calculate very quickly and very well. But what fucking game would it be more profitable if it was released on multiple platforms? Like, is it gonna?
Well, the ones they didn't buy, like Grounded. I don't know if they bought that one. Hi-Fi Rush. They didn't buy that one. What else did they put out there? They put out
Pentiment.
Yeah, that didn't do anything. And then they put out Sea of Thieves, which sold a whole million. So I don't know. It just depends. Like, do I think all of these games will do well? No. I think some of these games will do well. Do you think Hellblade 2 is going to sell a lot?
No.
It didn't sell a lot when it was exclusive to PlayStation.
Yeah. So I don't think that's going to be a big thing. Age of Mythology. I don't know.
I don't think so. I don't think so.
It doesn't feel like a PlayStation game, does it? It feels much more like a PC game. So I think that's probably where it's sold the most. Gears of War, maybe it'll do well over there. I don't know. Are they like really good shooter? I don't know. It's just
Are
an
they
interesting
third-person
question.
shooter players? That's the only thing that they have is third person. But are they competitive third-person shooter players? I don't think so.
Oh, I don't know, right? It's just so we will see, right? So we gave them Sea of Thieves. It sold 1 million. When I compare that to the 40 million on the other side, I'm like,
It's not even worth it, right?
Yeah. So that's another thing too, that Xbox is continuously changing their strategy. So maybe their strategy was like at the beginning, we're gonna talk about all these games going over there. We're gonna run a couple of tests, but like, is it really worth it, like you guys said? And maybe they're like, yeah, and
I don't know.
if we really think about it, like, yeah, why? Yeah, no, we're not gonna do that anymore. We're about to continue doing what we're doing and offering people what we want to offer them. So, like the fact that Sony PlayStation fanboys are out here filing their teeth, thinking that they're gonna get something out of this, bro. Keep waiting, man. That's what I'm telling you, man. Keep waiting, like Reforged Gaming for like Starfield. You know, it's already been a whole freaking year. Starfield's nowhere to be found. So, I mean, I don't know what to say.
They moved
Keep
on
waiting,
to like Halo now, and it's like this is a bit ridiculous. They moved on to Halo now. Yeah, it was Starfield for a while, and they just keep on moving along.
So that's the thing, right? So if I want to,
and that was for sure, by the way.
If I want, I know that was guaranteed. So if I want to interpret, like put my own thoughts into the words that he wrote here about any Xbox game that's capable of making a good return on investment from going multi-platform, absolutely will do so. In my mind, theoretically, like what I'm thinking is that means any game studio that Xbox has that's comfortable with making a multi-platform game, like that knows how to make a game for another platform or whatever, might be able to go, right? Is that what you think he's trying to say? Like it doesn't cost that much money because you don't have to like train the studio or do this or do that.
Yeah, I think that's what they've been saying as well, right? So the management at Xbox, so Phil and Matt, that this is kind of, they're leaving it up to the studios. But I think there should be, I know that Phil said there's no red lines. But you have to also think about, like, is your platform something that you need to have something that kind of makes it, Xbox? I don't know. That's an interesting question, but I do get it. Halo would probably do well over there. Just look at Eli, right? He finally got to try it, right? And he's like, oh shit, this is fucking awesome, right? It's the mentality of like, oh no, it's on Xbox, so it can't be good. It's like, yeah, but you haven't tried it yet, right? The flip side, it's very rare you see Xbox gamers that don't engage with PlayStation games, right? We try them, we give them a chance, and like if it's good, it's good. If it's not good, whatever, right? But we at least try it, right? They generally just will not even engage, and it's like, well, how do you know if it's not good or if you haven't even tried it? You have to give it a chance, right? And once they do, will it like spur sort of oh, maybe they have something over there, right? They're giving them the Master Chief Collection, which is the old games. It doesn't even have Halo 5, right? And then you have Infinite, right? So will it be something that says, hey, the new Halo is now out on Xbox. Do you want to play it when that comes out, right? And guess what? You're gonna have to be on an Xbox or a PC, and you want to go get one of those because you tried the old ones, and there's something there. There's magic with that game. There just is. And if you want to play that, come over here. I get that. There is something there, right? So, but I like a lot of these games, like Flight Sim. Do I think that's gonna be like a killer app on PlayStation? I just don't see it. Like all the like flight sticks and all that stuff, is that available on a PlayStation? You'd have to make that all work there. It's like, dude, I don't see it. That's a very PC game, right? It's like the whole setup that people have that really get into Flight Sim, right? They have all these like flight sticks and yokes and all this stuff that they have. That's all like PC, and it does work on Xbox, right? But like, I don't know if that's gonna find a home on PlayStation. Maybe it does, but I just don't see it. I think it's a very PC centric game. I think that's where it's going to make its money, and I hope that's where it is making its money. So I don't know. These are experiments they're doing to kind of see what would stick over there. It's also Switch, by the way, and like he's saying, I don't know if they're going to come to Switch. No, they're going to go to Switch too. They're going to do all these ports are going to go to both. So
for sure,
and we'll see what sticks on that, right? So some of these games may not even fit that model because they're online only, right? Like Flight Sim, you have to be online, right? It is streaming the data, right? So you have to be online. Is that a Switch type game? Right? I don't know how well that's going to work when you're.
Is that something you can like say, hey, Switch players, I know you like to play it away from home, but
sorry,
you gotta be online,
right? Or you have to be like connected to the internet via your cell phone or something. It's like, okay, I don't know, like that. They'll have to work that out, right? But like some of these games just don't like fit. Some of them do. So again, I don't. Part of like the Xbox charm is is the chat process that we just have, right? The game chat that's just there. You're playing Gears of War with your buddy. You're playing Halo with your buddy. That's the way we all experience this stuff, right? And so is that going to work seamlessly over there? I don't know, right? We will see what they do with it. So we'll see how that plays out. I don't know how well these things do over there. Hopefully they do something, but they're older games. So will PlayStation players care? So
that's always the big question, right? They didn't care before, right? Like they didn't care enough to come over.
Yeah.
So I mean, even like best case scenario, even if it's a fantastic game to them, like, are they going to look at it that way, or is it just going to be another game to them? You know what I'm saying?
They're not players. Just look at this game. It failed miserably because that's just not what they play. They don't play these kind of games, right? They fail over there because they don't have the audience. Like, we'll see. I don't know. These are experiments that are interesting, right? The Xbox platform is the shooter box platform, right? It has been. Now it has all the genres. It has everything else. Fair enough. But it's been associated with that. And a lot of the players there, they like a Halo. They like a Gears, right? They like those kind of games. And that's why they do well on that platform. I don't know what happens here. We'll see, right? I don't know that it's going to matter when these go over, but we'll see what they get out of it.
And even
I don't think they're going to get much out of it if they went ahead and did something like this. I think this is ridiculous. I think this is less than smart to go ahead and say, let me go ahead and like to go to Halo or Gears or something like that. It's just not the way you step in, right? You already did. And you saw like the highest one was Sea of Thieves. And that wasn't much. That wasn't much. So I don't think that with the amount of studios and games that you have, that you're going to go right to Halo or right to Gears to go and test this out. And like they said, damage the brand. Well, this is a moment where like PlayStation, they're not doing shit. Let them continue to waste their money trying to figure out what games would work. And yes, you go ahead and put Doom obviously is going to PlayStation. And there are other games like Indiana Jones. You went ahead and you made it. I can't imagine people that went ahead and said, let me go ahead and renegotiate this deal so that I can keep Indiana Jones exclusive for 6 months, right? Because that's all that I can get out of it going back and forth when it was supposed to just go everywhere right off the bat. I can't imagine these same people saying, you know what, take our games, which is just, it just sounds ridiculous to me. It just doesn't add up. Again, you said it, Hargy, Hellblade 2, they're not going to go ahead and buy that. They're not going to play that. Age of Mythology, not their type of freaking game. Gears, I don't think they should even consider something like that. It just doesn't make any sense. And if before, when they didn't have much going on, they didn't say, let's open this gate, why would you open it now? It's just, I don't know. It just doesn't sound right. And what's PlayStation bringing to the table?
It doesn't sound right. But like the thing is that even if it's true, all it's going to do is show more that these dudes are not like, they just don't know what good games are. You know what I'm saying?
But are you willing to go ahead and risk your IP to see if these fuckers come out and show up? Like they didn't show up for the other ones. And like you said, CMoney, Halo is something that brings people to the platform, right? If you have if you haven't had interest in going ahead and getting the box to go ahead and play Halo or Gears or any of these games that are fundamentally Xbox, then like what's it going to do over there? It's not going to bring them over.
I mean, I think, like, I definitely understand that idea, and I think that that's where I was before. Now I'm more indifferent to it. I think that at the end of the day, if they think that if they want to kind of see what shit will do, you know, it's fine. It's just going. I mean, this is the thing. If you put something like Halo over there, like your big shit, and it don't pick up, then you just kind of, you know, remember this is not their new shit. Right, so they're not putting Halo Infinite over there, right? They're taking an old game, putting it out there, see what happens. If it doesn't, like, because they know no one's buying Master Chief Collection anymore.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? For them, if they put it over there, you know, it's introducing the character and seeing if people will actually engage with the idea, right? And you know, the likelihood is that they won't. Is that the majority of them won't, right? Because the majority of them are going to, as much as we love our games, right?
Yeah.
Ponies love their games.
Yep.
Right. So if you think about it, you know, if they don't engage with the games that are on their box already, why would they engage with the ones from our box? And again, we put 4 games over there and only Sea of Thieves did much of anything. And I mean, frankly, you know, that was a kind of niche experience, right? Like there's not a lot of pirate games that are very open and welcoming like that game is, right? It's not like, you know, Assassin's Creed Black Flag or like the new Like a Dragon, you know, the pirate, like a pirate or whatever they're doing. Like it's, I think, like I understand the situation with games, you know, like I get it. Like we have a idea of Halo stays here, Gears stays here, Forza stays here, right? And I get that. Like I completely understand that
from that perspective, because I understand like it just doesn't add up to me. So it's not even from like this is not a thing that is possible. It's just more of it's a thing that just doesn't seem to make sense yet. Now you did bring up, you know, the collection. Right? It's not, yes. Now, if you tie that in, right, to the remake that we were speaking about, and you think to yourself, okay, if this collection goes over there and they like the old version of it, when we make that remake and we don't put it on their platform, what reaction is that going to bring? Right? So in that way, you can tie it in and you can say, okay, I can see the strategy behind that. Maybe you're trying to lure them in on something that you feel that they think is going to be great. And now you're making a freaking brand new version of it that it's going to be just captivating, right? We think of what they're going to be doing, and it's going to be insane. So if that's the hook, then that's the hook. I understand that. It has to make sense. And until like that makes sense to me, until like as of right now, it's just, it doesn't. And that game, it wasn't confirmed yet, right?
No, there's none
of this is confirmed.
This is
none of it.
Exactly.
This is all made up bullshit.
No, not the rumors. The only reason, I'm talking about the remake.
No. Well, I mean,
not
they
even
showed
that is
us
confirmed.
Exactly.
But they showed
Unreal,
us,
but they haven't said assets. Here's the game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they showed us assets, but they didn't name the game or exactly what it was. I think if Microsoft does this, right? If they go ahead and they put these IP that you really wouldn't think are going to go over there. Number one, once something like that happens, right? Doesn't matter, old game, new game, doesn't matter. Once you do that, then you essentially kind of rip, like, it's like the idea of what can go or what not can go. Like, it wouldn't matter anymore, right? Like, like it wouldn't make a difference to be like, oh, this is a Halo game. It's never going to go there. If they put the old one there, then it doesn't matter if the new one eventually goes, right? It just doesn't matter. It's already been, already kind of hit that line, right?
Yeah, the Band-Aid's been ripped, right? So why?
They were like, we didn't finish this article, but in the article, and we could kind of get back to it in a little bit or whatever, but he puts forth the idea from what he's heard, and again, this is all rumors and shit, but that everything is essentially, like, every game, just like Matt Booty said, is case by case, right? But if you look at every game, is essentially the possibility of it just being timed, right? Where it's just first, like, every game is going to release here first for the most part, outside of the games that they're dropping everywhere because there's already like a pass to it, and then eventually it might go. That's what he's trying to put forth here, and it's like, if they're doing shit like that, it wouldn't, like, it's just like, what does it matter at that point? Like, honestly, for me, none of it matters, because at the end of the day, like, all we're doing is like creating a stack, right? Where it was like, well, before it was like, I don't want any of these games going. And it's like, okay, well, all right, you're gonna take those. Well, if you're not gonna take those, just leave me these. Oh, okay, these are going to. Okay, well, not, like, you're creating this fucking, like, you're like, there's a flood coming, and you're like, well, let's just keep putting these things so hopefully they don't get touched. It's like, it doesn't matter. You know what I'm saying? Like, it doesn't matter. I think the idea of what we're going to gain,
they can still find access to these games one way or another anyway.
Like, you're literally,
the fact that you're talking about an old freaking game when they've released so many, it's like, okay, like, sure.
Like
what have they been doing there?
Like, you're essentially saying that you don't want these people to play the game on their PlayStation. Right. I don't even think people really care too much about the Switch for whatever reason.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody cares if it goes to Switch for whatever reason. Nobody really talks about it. It's just PlayStation that people bring up the most. And it's like, you're saying to yourself, I don't want you to play this game on your PlayStation.
You know why, right? Because even though Nintendo competes, they don't recently, at least, do the same shit that PlayStation does. By taking games away from other platforms, right?
Of course.
For the most part, they're like, we got our first party. You can come to us and play that. We have the third-party games that come to us. We're not messing with the rest of it. They want to come to our platform, great. We're not taking games away from you other folks. You have fun with it, right? That's their stance, which is a lot nicer for everybody else, right? Whereas PlayStation is like, no, we're taking games away from you.
They took Bayonetta away. They did take Bayonetta away.
Well,
but
Bayonetta is something that they funded, right? Because it was dead. It was dead. They're like, fine, we'll make it sort of a first party, and we'll go ahead and fund those games and allow them to be on Nintendo.
So this is enough. So this right here sums it up. Like, I'll still say my thing because I think it ties it in. But like, the long and the short of it is Rusky nails it. It's literally feelings being hurt, and that's it. But this isn't about feelings, though, he says, right? And that's the point. That's what this is all about. This is what the crying is for. It's about feelings. Like, emotionally, it's about the feelings of, oh no, they have this. And it's like, this is the thing, though, right? Again, what we're talking about is, we don't want you, PlayStation person I hate. I hate you. I don't want you to go ahead and play Halo unless you buy an Xbox, or you buy a PC, or you subscribe to Xbox. You know what I'm saying? Like,
you fire stick.
These motherfuckers.
It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous when you think about
it. Right? They have every other way that they can do it, but you're worried that if they happen to pay the $70 and play it on not the PC that they own. All right, let's assume that most people have the PC already, whether it's a gaming PC or not. You can still get the shit to run. It's not gonna run great, right? But you want them to not spend the $70 on the PlayStation Store to play the Xbox made game. You want them to buy it elsewhere, and it's like, fam, I get it, but like, come on, man. Like we don't cross that bridge already. You know what I'm saying? Like it's already happened. It's already happened.
Jesse P says, I feel like if this stuff bothers you and your feelings, you need therapy and a hug, probably.
Facts.
You know, like I'm saying, and honestly, this is therapy, right? Like for me, I have undergone the therapy with
emotional damage.
The community. Here you go. That's
emotional damage.
Facts. Right. So it's like I was in that position. You know what I'm saying? You go back to before these things were going down, and I was there. I don't want any of that shit. I don't want to hear any of it. Don't show me nothing. Don't tell me nothing. That shit better not be going anywhere. Right. And the shit happened. And again, there's only one of two versions of this. There's no middle. If you're in the middle, then you're full of shit. Okay. So it's either you're in or you're out. Right. So either you're saying, fuck this shit. I'm not going to do this. I don't want this. I hate it. I'm going to go spend $70 every game. Or you stop the bullshit and say to yourself, okay, if this is the direction that gaming is going, this is the way Xbox is leading this direction. Am I in or am I out? And fam, I'm not going anywhere. So I'm in regardless. So everything else really doesn't fucking matter.
What are you going to go do? Go wait over on the other side and see if and maybe or when they possibly bring these games.
Come on, man.
Right? Like he said, this can possibly maybe happen. So, and it's like, what are you going to do? Go way on the other side and then pay $70 instead of your Game Pass on day freaking one? That's just ridiculous. The idea of it, when you really break it down, is just bonkers. The idea also that this is just like exactly where they're gonna go, it doesn't necessarily make sense to me yet. So we'll see how it plays out.
Yeah, that's the big key though, is like when Eli, for instance, he got his Xbox, it had Game Pass, so his ability to play the game was simply download the game, right? And now it's not a barrier of entry of, oh, I have to pay $60 $70 to buy this. Right. And so when these games come over there, that's going to be the problem is, do you want to pay $70 for Flight Sim? I don't know that they want to. If you're a Flight Sim enthusiast, you're already on PC playing that game. Right. That's where most of those Flight Sim guys are. Right. So if you're Age of Mythology, if you're an Ara History Untold or one of those, generally speaking, you're probably on PC already. That's where you're going to play it. Beauty is for us, it's on console, but it's in Game Pass. We just download it and try it. If it's cool, it's cool. If it isn't, whatever, right? Some of us will buy it, fair enough. But I bet you the majority of the sales are on Steam because that's where those players generally are, right? So I don't know that these do anything on the other side because their barrier of entry is you got to buy it full price. And they're not going to buy it full price. They didn't even buy Astrobot, the game of the year. They didn't even buy that. They didn't even buy that. It's their own game. They didn't even buy that. Right?
That's crazy.
They didn't buy this. They didn't buy this. They didn't buy Lego Horizon.
Nope.
Like this is where they are.
But
they're not
see, that's exactly it. Exactly.
And that's the thing. As long as there's an ecosystem that's different between the two, forget about the game portion. Just it's about what do you prefer, right? You start at the basics. Which controller do I prefer? Fuck that PlayStation controller. I hate it.
I can't stand that controller.
I hate it.
Yeah.
I've always hated it. No matter how much they go, I always hate it. It's the worst.
Do you hear about the Xbox controller that looks just like the
my God, I don't controller? Demo. There's certain news beats that come out that I'm so disgusted with that I don't even fucking cover on purpose. Okay, that fucking embarrassment of a controller is ridiculous. How dare you? How dare you, Hyperkin? I like their stuff, but come on, man.
I think it's good that it exists for those handful of people who actually like that controller and want to play on an Xbox.
For the new ponies. That's for the new ponies. For the newcomers.
Right? Enjoy.
Right? They're getting ready for when they
ride at home. You want to touch thumbs? Oh, well, you ride at home now. You can touch thumbs.
That's wild.
That's hilarious.
But it's true. You know what I'm saying? It's true. It's really it's really a situation that I think, honestly, I gotta say, like, first of all, we got a bunch of people in here, right? Like, this is not like, there's not like 20, 30, 40 people in here, right?
Thank you guys.
There's a lot of people in here, so we appreciate you guys being here. And like the fact is that, like, I love our community who comes rock with us because, look at them all. Nobody's in there crying, right? Nobody's in there crying saying, "Oh no, my game is gonna be on a PlayStation." Like, no, stop being a bitch. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's just where it is. You know what I'm saying? Like, just stop being a bitch. We still have, there's still our games that are there.
Mentality that they're gonna go ahead and potentially like have these fuckers pay $70 for these games that we get for free. It shouldn't be a crying thing for us. It's say, haha, look at you, you clown. You have no games. You have to be fed by Xbox, and you're paying full price, and you're funding our Game Pass. It is just mind blowing the situation that could be taking place and that has taken place, because listen, Sea of Thieves didn't sell much, but that was a whole other million in sales that PlayStation wished that like Concord had done, or Lego Ho, dare I say, that it didn't hit 1 million in sales. So
1 million by itself is small. Like, when you look at it,
by the way, an old-ass game,
added,
Sea of Thieves, old-ass game.
2017, that's crazy. So when you add that mil to like the other 40 mils, like, oh, all right, 44 mil now, dope. You know what I'm saying? Like, it hits different, right? It's a different beast. But, listen, I know these things keep coming up, right? These things keep coming up. These rumors keep coming out. But, like, there's so much talk on, like, they know why they're saying it, right?
Because the direct is coming up, and good news for Xbox means that it's an opportunity for them to go ahead and rile people up and try to get attention and try to get those clicks and for people to try to go see what could be wrong with Xbox. And it's just crazy because for me, it's done the opposite, where it kind of just loses the impact, and I don't understand how it's still getting that type of attraction or attention, because it all sounds like bullshit to me. It is what it is. It's like clockwork. It's like, okay, well, it's that time. Let's go ahead and start some shit again.
Yeah, and I mean, listen, right? I know there's an argument where people will say, well, you're giving it light, right? And I would say we're too small to be giving it light. We're doing the opposite. You know what I'm saying? We're trying to give the other narrative that exists, right? Because if we don't talk about it,
there's another side to this stuff.
Like, there's
right?
just only people talking from the other side. You know what I'm saying?
If this is
like,
some end of the world, yep. you should move over to PlayStation. Like, what? Are you guys crazy? Have you lost your damn mind? Xbox has betrayed us. Now we must go ahead and live in dry land in the middle of fucking nowhere with no electricity, no games, no water, like just a freaking box, a pisser. Are you kidding me? Like, I don't even understand. I don't get it. Is that the what you're gonna enlighten people with? Is that the light you're trying to show them? Because it ain't light.
Yeah, it's true. Like, look, the homie Amit Kumar says people need to accept it and or move on. Enough with the crying every few months. And I feel like we are getting there. Like, again, look into our chat and we're not getting a bunch of these people showing up crying. There's also people.
It's cleansing. That's another reason to address this thing, because it's like this is where we stand, like it or not, right?
And to be clear, like, there are people that names used to be here that don't come around anymore because they are still in that mentality. That mentality of they want us crying, right? They want us up here saying screw Xbox and their bullshit. This is what they did, and it's like, nah, man.
Which is fine. They can want all they want, but you have to go ahead and kind of speak from your perspective.
Yeah, man. Yeah, dude. I'm not. I'm not looking to just appease like these fucking criers. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is not the fucking way, bro. Like, this is an Xbox
I mean, it's
channel.
the
This is
easy
our
way,
shit
right?
that we
Because
love.
this is why they do it. They want the attention. They make up these rumors, or they feed these rumors out into Twitter, and they bring it onto YouTube for the attention of it all. And yes, the easy way is to hop on board and get your torches and start crying, right? And Xbox bad, but that's bullshit, though.
Yeah. Oh,
and if you don't do as they do, then you're a faker. No, you are, because you're going along with the narrative to get attention. It's a load of crap.
Like, bro, these people think so highly of themselves. Like, they think Phil Spencer's watching their bitch ass saying, hold up, this motherfucker thinks we're shit in the bed. Satya, we can't abort.
We're done. We're done.
This little dumb bitch that nobody cares about thinks that we're stupid. Abort.
We're making the wrong business decisions. They have spoken.
Man. You ain't making no change. You're just making yourself look stupid because you're not leaving. So you're sitting there talking all this shit.
And then you're going on Game Pass to go play your games.
Like, yo, if you were watching a couple weeks ago or whatever it is, we were maybe last week. I don't know. There was another round of this shit, right? Where we had people coming out here, big people doing these posts, right? Snap Blast Play was one of them. Oh, yeah. The squirrel, what's his name?
Crowbrill,
right? And we had a whole segment kind of going into the statements that people were making, right? They're statements because they're so important. And we read like Snap Blast Play, we read his shit, right? And we went through it and all the bullshit that he said. And then immediately, you go back to his page, go to his page and find where he made that statement. And then look after that statement. All glowing Xbox shit. You know what I'm saying? Like all the same shit you were doing. So why
because the moment in time for the attention and the nonsense, and it's like when is this gonna just stop, or when is it gonna kind of be caught on to that this is just the move and the nonsense that they do? It's a little pathetic to try to get attention off of the back of the platform that gives you all the crap that you want and you're not willing to let go of. That's what's weird. Like, I love you, but I'm stabbing you, right? Like, it's so crazy, right? And I'm not speaking literal. Like, this is just a version of it, of what it sounds like. Like, you're feeding me and I love you and you're showing me that I'm worth more than a freaking galloper, but I'm just going to stab the shit out of you constantly so that I can look good in front of my friends or some shit like that. It's crazy.
Miss says that Snap Blast Play dude wrote a breakup letter, but then came back to the same girl the next day.
That's the crazy shit.
Yeah. He was like, if they can decide to change or some shit, then maybe I can too. But you didn't.
But you did.
Your ass right there. You know what I'm saying? Like, why go through the bullshit? You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm done with these.
So do you want my money with like now or for Game Pass, or do I pay next week? When's
I
the
can't
payment
stand you. Do you take check? You know what I'm saying? How can I? Who do I write this out to? Jesus. All right. Let's get through the rest of this so we can hear all the bullshit they have to say, and then we'll move on. Okay. So he says, according to Mr. Haight, Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024 and Halo Master Chief Collection are both slated for the multi-platform treatment, with each game launching on PlayStation 5 and Nintendo Switch 2. I can corroborate independently with our own sources that all of this above is most likely true. It seems that Microsoft isn't stopping there, though. As previously noted by Xbox CEO Phil Spencer, there are no red lines when it comes to the games Microsoft aims to bring to other platforms. I noted in an analysis late last year that any Xbox game that is capable of making a good return on investment from going multi-platform absolutely will do so. To that end, I've heard that in addition to the above, Hellblade 2, Age of Mythology, and potentially Gears of War, and potentially, you know how many extra, you know what I'm saying? He's like, most likely true. And then on top of that, potentially most likely true. You're just like, there's levels to this.
Yeah, they're stacking. They're stacking.
Like, how many levels of possibly can there be? All right. So, and potentially
they say this stuff and then debunk it
for sure
themselves.
Gears of War 1
but it's
Ultimate
happening.
Edition are also slated for PlayStation 5 this year too. Although I'm unsure if that includes the Nintendo Switch Part 2. I would expect that it most likely does if I had to guess that part. If all of this is true, and always take rumors with a pinch of salt, as plans can change.
Or maybe it's just a rumor with plans can change.
And make a whole bunch of rumors.
Or the rumor was just bullshit.
Maybe. Microsoft will probably make more money from content this year than it ever has.
Yep.
Fam, that's going to happen whether they put the games over there or not.
That's the thing. And
no, that's the point.
Yep.
So Microsoft has this website is wild. Microsoft has a vast,
right?
Yeah, so many, like they come up so far on the screen, bro. Microsoft has a vast mountain of first-party content in development with further unannounced titles for 2025 slated for the Xbox Showcase, which typically airs in June. The majority of Xbox's upcoming game slate, if not all of it, will at least be timed exclusive to Xbox and Windows. For most games, PlayStation and Nintendo Switch versions will either be ready to go on launch day or some months after the fact. Bro, read these two fucking sentences back to back and tell me what the fuck did he just say? Listen again. The majority of Xbox's upcoming game slate, if not all of it, will at least be timed exclusive to Xbox and Windows. So if you read that statement, what he's saying is that everything they're making for the most part is going to
Xbox
100% be on Xbox first and then go elsewhere. Next sentence. For most games, PlayStation and Nintendo Switch versions will either be ready to go on launch day or some months after the fact. How does that make sense,
bro?
How
the hell is that?
You're the Harvard grad. Can you please explain to me how in one sentence you're telling me that pretty much every game they're making is going to be at least timed exclusive? At least means that it's either full exclusive or at least time exclusive, right? So at least time exclusive. But then the next sentence is most of the games are going to have their PlayStation and Nintendo Switch versions ready to go day one, to go on launch day. Okay.
Not go on launch day. They'll just have it ready.
That's what he says. Ready to go on launch day or some months after that fact.
It's ready, right? So they'll just be making both versions and then they'll launch it when they're ready. That's it. That's
so they're saying that he's saying that they're going to be time exclusives, but the games will be done. They're just going to sit on them to let the exclusive period go by and then release it. I don't know.
Wow.
Sounds wild.
Sounds like a lot of shit.
Hold on. I didn't even notice this, but I have to hit it because I just saw Spartan say goodnight. I didn't even fucking notice, guys. Come on, man. That's wild. The homie Spartan 661. He gifted 5 on point for gamer memberships, man.
Thank you so much.
Damn, bro. I did not see that. That was like a half hour ago, bro. I'm so sorry, man. God damn. We got heated over here, this conversation.
It got a little crazy.
Fucking A, man. Spartan, man, thank you so much, bro, for going ahead and gifting 5 on point for gamer memberships, man. You are a fucking awesome dude. Thank you so very much. Y'all know what to do.
Tell them, baby.
Motherfucking welcome to the family emoji in the chat. Welcome our newest members, man. We appreciate each and every one of y'all. And of course, my boy, Spartan661, man. So kind of you, man. Thank you so very much. Let me see who got these bad boys. All right. You got the homie Amit Kumar.
Yes.
Awesome Gomez. Whoop Whoop Kid.
Whoop Whoop.
Dog 50. and Mr. Xbot Tequila Trans. Thank y'all so much for rocking out with us,
Thank
man.
you. Welcome, you guys.
Awesome.
Spartan, thank you so much.
And Spartan, man, thank y'all. Thank you so much, man. You're so very, very kind. Remember, if you're a new member, we'll be live twice tomorrow with our member only. In the morning, On Point's morning call with CMoney. At night, him, and a mic with Doodle and CMoney. That's right, members only. So if you just got that new membership, hope to see you there. It's gonna be awesome. Thank you so much. Spartan, you're the fucking man, bro. Thank you, bro. I really, really appreciate it. Also, RC Polygon, I did not see this. I was too caught up. My bad. With that $5 super chat player, he says the only way I see Gears, Halo, Forza going to PlayStation is Xbox buys Valve. Xbox gets PlayStation games through Steam, and then exclusives won't matter then. Or if they just do powered by Steam on their next box. You know what I'm saying? Have that little Steam icon, click the button, boots into the partnership. Steam. That's it. It's done. So I agree. I mean, maybe that's what Xbox is seeing for them. Maybe they already know that their next console is doing this. Maybe in their mind, it doesn't fucking matter anymore. Because PlayStation is not going to stop putting their games on PC. If anything, they're going to ramp up how many and how quickly those games go to PC. So you ain't wrong, man. I definitely feel you there, bro. So
your question on why would they do it at the same time? One of the things they've run into is they would do the port for PlayStation much later, and then it turns out, hey, because they're doing it later, they have new features that they're putting on PlayStation, but they didn't put it on Xbox. And then we get these like weird situations of like the Xbox version is worse than the PlayStation version, even though it's just really they never updated the Xbox version because they released it earlier. Now it'll just be parity, right? That's it. They'll get the same freaking version, right? They'll do the port at the same time. They just won't release it. That's it.
Spartan, appreciate you, my dude. Thank you, man. So this is the thing, Hargeet. We're missing one thing, and this is why it becomes an issue, because these words come out, and then we take these words as the proof or as the
fact.
Not proof.
This is all speculation.
But Matt Booty just came out and gave statements, and his statement was the ports of these games, the determination of when they're coming is based off of how long it takes to port these games in his official statement that he made. Yep. So he did not say these games were going to be ready to go. He said they're going to be ported to.
Mm-hmm. He said the focus was our games.
Yeah, so he's saying like getting the games out and then the porting process.
Which
so
is
it's
what
like
this is saying as well, right?
Well, when he says they're ready to go and launch
at the same time,
that makes it seem like they're being made 100% together.
Versus ready to go at launch or a little bit after. Isn't that what he said?
Yeah. So where is this thing? So Matt said it like,
or some
whenever it
after
comes,
the fact.
it comes. Yeah, it says right there, months after the or some months after the fact. But Matt Booty said it like it depends on how long it's going to take. Depends on what the dev does and how long after that is going to be.
I mean, how long does it take to port a game?
Happens, right. So like that also like
generally 3 to 6 months.
Because exactly. Because Square Enix brought this up, that the annoying thing with them with PlayStation is that their contract has to be over before they start porting the game, and that alone takes a long time, right? So it's not as easy as like, here you go, it's done and ready. You have to, it takes time.
Yeah, so my thing is that there's actually two very different, kind of thoughts that come out of this, or not even thoughts, but like the reality of what it means, what he's saying, right? So if he says that the games are ready to go at the same time, right? What that means to me when I'm hearing that is that these games are just made in tandem, right? So in my mind, that would be almost like they're made for the the least common denominator, right? Like they're just made to make sure they work on both, as opposed to what Matt Booty suggested, okay, which I feel is a very different thing, and that's why I'm maybe a little more caught up on this idea. But I feel like him saying there's a porting process, right? That it means that the game is made for Xbox and then it's ported over. You get what I'm saying?
Could be.
You're maximizing your focus on the box, like making sure that you present the best version you can for that particular box. And then after that process is done, you figure out, how to port the game. But yeah, I just can't imagine if you're trying to go back and forth.
Here, actually, I have it.
You have it?
Yeah, I have it. Right. So this is what I'm saying. I feel like this is a big difference between what Jess said and what he said. So over here, this is just a quote from the thing. As with Black Ops 6, Microsoft is making Gray Circle available to subscribers of Xbox Game Pass for no additional charge. An attempt to mimic Netflix model, the indie game will remain an Xbox and PC exclusive until it comes to PlayStation in spring 2025. The game's first round of downloadable content, DLC, is set to release at an unspecified date in the new year. Now, here we go. We are very much making the exclusivity and windowing decisions on a game-by-game basis, Booty said. And each of our studios is in a little bit of a different position. There's also the production timeline on a game. So the decision on spacing comes there first. We want to make sure there's a great experience for our Xbox players. And then the gap between when it becomes available on PlayStation is as much a production decision as it is anything else. And then this is a game that was in production before we acquired Bethesda even. So he's talking about Indiana Jones on that last part. But like, you see, like what Jez is saying, what he's saying, two very different things. What Matt Booty said,
not really.
is that,
I don't see it differently, but okay.
Well, the way I see it, and maybe just my interpretation of it, but when I hear him say it, I hear him saying it in a sense like the Xbox version of this game is priority. We make sure that it's the best possible on Xbox, and then we port, and then that gap between when we finish this game. Right? Of course. Outside of the games that are day and date, right? So if the game's day and date, then it's day and date. But like the other games that are coming after, right? It's hey, we're making a game for Xbox. Obviously, the technology is like, obviously they're making sure the tech runs between the two, right? So if they're using Unreal, they know it works on the other side. But they're making a game for Xbox first, and then porting, regardless of anything else, they're using the Xbox tech, right? The things that make it special. It's a first-party game still, right? Even though PlayStation and Xbox have similar features, there are different features that have to specifically be taken advantage of for the Xbox, right? So when Matt Booty says it, it's, hey, we have our box and our players are going to get the great experience for them. We want to make sure their shit is good. And then after that, we port. And whatever has to be done to make it work on the other console, we'll do. And I feel like that's just different than the games are actually both done at the same time. And
but
they're
that's
just
not what he's saying on the other side
time.
either. He's saying some of them will be available at launch and many will be months afterwards. It's just the same statement in a different wording, right? So it'll be available at launch or months later. And that's about right. It's not going to be.
I personally don't hear it the same either.
Yeah, you're just interpreting the words in different ways. I personally don't
hear it the same either. Yeah. Like I hear it the way that you're saying it, CMoney. I'm hearing it as if you're working together on something at the same time, obviously you're going to have it all set up at launch. You may hold it. You may just send it. My initial thought was, okay, so what you're saying is you're sending these games out in one shot. And some of them that may not be completely ready, you're going to wait until they are and then send those out too. What I'm hearing with Matt is our focus is Xbox, right? And whatever we decide later on after these games are looking their best and maxed out, right, on our box, then we're going to go ahead and consider and go ahead and start the process if our developers, however they choose to move forward with it. That's the way I'm hearing it.
Yeah, if you
and
see
I feel like you see that play out. I feel like you see that play out right now in the sense that if the game wasn't announced already, like for sure as a multi-plat, like Outer Worlds or Doom or Indie, right? There's no
Indie
more
wasn't
talk.
right. That was
Indie was announced
by 6 months.
No, I'm sorry. What I mean was when I brought up Indie, I meant like they announced when it was coming before the game came out, right? They announced when it was coming. So like they announced when it was coming, so we know that it's coming in that general area because they still have to make it work over there. If they knew, if it was already done, they would have been able to say it's going to come out, this day in the spring. But they put a spring window because they still have to, work over there. It wasn't their priority, right? They had a version of it running, but it wasn't their priority, so they focused on Xbox. Now they're switching to see what they could do over there. And obviously the multiplayer like Doom and Outer Worlds 2, we know that's obviously going to be like for like because they're making it at the same time. But like
so what you're saying is
that
the sentence is somehow inelegant in giving you the answer that you are looking for, right? It's saying for most games, right? Now that's all it's saying is for most games. In other words, the games that are going to be going over, PlayStation and Nintendo Switch versions will either be ready to go on launch or some months after the fact. Right?
Yeah, on
that's
launch day or some months after the fact. But then he said before that, the majority of the games are coming time exclusive.
No. For most games, the PlayStation and Nintendo Switch versions will either be ready to go on launch day or some months after the fact. That does not take away from exclusivity at launch
about the sentence before.
Yeah, so it's not a difference. All he's saying is that there will be some games that come launch, right? Some games will be ready at launch. Doom, Outer Worlds, right? Whatever, right? Those games, Call of Duty, they'll be at launch or some months after the fact, right? And that's going to be the strategy. Launch exclusivity window is a question, and all of this is all rumor, but launch exclusivity window could be 3 months, 6 months, a year, 2 years, 5 years. We don't know. Right. Yeah. And that's where the confusion is. I guess you're not understanding what that means as far as that line. All he's saying is that the second version will be available sometime after, or it's ready for launch because it needs to be launched day and date. Right. So I don't see the
But you just said that. That's what I'm saying. Like that's what I'm hearing. It's ready to go together. They've been working on it together. They're both just coming out. And if it takes a little longer, they will go ahead and release it a couple months later.
Which could be 6 months, 10 months, a year later, right? But yeah, exactly.
It just doesn't go. It's almost like they're doing another version of what they're taking Matt Booty's words and kind of doing a version, a rumor version, a spin on it, so that you can make it suit, of course, so that you can make it suit with the rumor on top, and it all kind of ties together in a dirtier way, right? In a tamed way. Right.
This is the way I heard Matt Booty. Thank you, Space Shot. He says, Booty, we're making sure Xbox has a great experience, and then ponies can have sloppy seconds when we feel like
it. Thank you.
That's what I heard from Matt Booty
as well,
which is the official word. And then what I hear here is them trying to create
together.
And,
you
know what I'm saying? Like I don't think
that's the case. I mean, I don't see an issue, but okay.
Well, see, this is the thing. What for me, words matter. I think you know what I'm saying? So I'm very like, I feel like if you're gonna like, he could have easily.
I'm rounding up the words and saying, pretty much the same thing.
Yeah, like I want to be specific here.
Dissecting the words because of what they try to do with the words, right?
Yeah, how they try to frame Matt's words worse than what Matt said.
And they do to Matt and they do to Sarah. They go and they grab one word and create an entire scenario out of it. And that's normally the mentality and what they do out there. So I'm very cautious when I hear, and these two things are not the same to me. And Space Shot, yes, exactly what I'm hearing.
That's all. I think Xbox is, even though these games are like, that's the one thing that we have to make sure that, and that's why when I brought it up earlier, when we were talking about the Dev Direct, right? Doom is going everywhere. But in the Dev Direct announcement, they didn't say this is for all gamers everywhere. They said this is for our Xbox Game Pass and PC players. Like they didn't include PlayStation in that conversation because Xbox is still making it about us. Yes, some of these games are going elsewhere, but that's not a, hey, we love them and we want to give them this amazing experience. It's like, no, we love you guys. We want to give you this amazing experience. And then we're using their butthurtness, the saliva they have pouring out of their mouths because they don't have games, to just extract more funds from them. But not like, oh, this is
not come sit at the table.
Yeah, like
you don't sit at the table. This shit is not for you. Right? If you snuck in, then you're calling yourself an Xbox fan, right? This is essentially what you're trying to put out.
Well, like if you have a dog, right, and I don't know. I've seen it in movies. I don't have a dog, but you go ahead and you have your meal, and then some people feed their dogs meals that they have, but they like. It's like
from the side. Yeah, that's what I see.
It's like, hey, I had this
too.
piece of steak. I left it for you. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is yours. Like, it's just like they can have the other stuff, but Xbox is looking at us as the main course. You know what I'm saying? Like, we get the main meal. They get the leftover of it, right? So they'll port it over, sure, right? But they're going to make the game work over there as opposed to combining them. That's the way I see it. With the way Matt said it, that's the way.
So if we change this thing to say for many games, the PS and Nintendo versions will either be ready to go on launch day or some time after the fact, would that be better?
No, he would have to say the games that are launching day and date will be ready to go, because there's some games that do that. The problem is literally the sentence before, he says the majority of Xbox's upcoming games will be timed exclusives, which means that just like Black Myth Wukong and Baldur's Gate and Final Fantasy, right? Nobody looked at these games and said, that's a time exclusive. You're getting it in 2 months or 3 months or 5 months, right? Or like this other one, the game we got from the war people. Why am I Stalker
2?
Stalker 2, right? Oh, that game was going to be 3 months, 5 months, but they didn't make a PlayStation version, right? Supposedly it was supposed to be 3 months later, but they don't have that version. They made Stalker to run on Xbox and PC. Sure, there's probably a build that exists that will run horribly on a PlayStation, but they're not looking at that. They're looking at Xbox and PC, right? Because this is where they made the game first. So if they, being this third-party developer who just took a deal, right, are focusing on Xbox and PC, I would feel like that's the way that first party, bleed green, treatment. This is our building. We're gonna make sure our Xbox fans love this shit because they're our fans. They're the ones who love this game. We're gonna make sure.
And then it's a case by case. And then if we decide to go ahead and put a game on PlayStation, then we get to it. That's what I'm thinking.
And you're seeing something different in this statement, right? That's just your interpretation of this statement. Is it's something different?
Yeah, because the way you would frame this, if you want to talk about it in the way that made sense, it's going to be, listen, most games that are coming out for Xbox are going to be timed exclusive, but there are going to be some games that are ready to go day and date.
That implies.
And then you put the examples like Doom, the Dark Ages, like.
Okay, so you just want it to be more descriptive.
For everything else,
to be as it's a responsible way to do it, right?
That doesn't
it's just like questions. When you say on Twitter, and then you're like, oh well, it's my opinion, but you're speaking in a factual way, so it's not an opinion, it's a statement. There's a difference, right? You're speaking facts, but then you're saying it's just an opinion. You include that this is what you think, or this is my opinion on this somewhere. Yeah,
it's just very broad. And again, if you just one sentence to the other is very contradictory. You know what I'm saying? It's like most are day and date, but then most are timed exclusive, but then then you say for most games, like you know what I'm saying? Like most games, PlayStation, Nintendo versions are either ready to go or they're going to be waiting a few months.
So essentially, they're working on 3 versions of these games at the same time. It just doesn't seem like Xbox's priority, and that's what I heard from Matt Booty.
So the first statement does say that it's at least timed exclusive, right? So that doesn't mean that in fact it's going to go to the other side. Right?
Yeah, it could be exclusive. It could be full exclusive.
Yeah,
but at the very least it'll be time, which means that at least everything for the majority of games will be on Xbox first or nowhere else but Xbox, right?
With some exceptions as needed here and there, right? Fair enough.
Exactly. The next sentence says, for most games, PlayStation and Nintendo versions are going to be ready to go. So how can it be most games? If you just told me most games, the majority of games, which is most, right? Most is the same thing as majority, right? Yep. If you say most, that means it's more than half, right? Most of the games, right? Same thing as majority. So if majority are either exclusive or time exclusive, then why would you say most games are either going to be ready to go on that day or be time exclusive?
But this is likely true though.
But possibly,
right? But it's all over the place.
Yeah, but the statement is likely correct, right? Because think of the majority of the games they're going to have are between Activision and Bethesda, and then they have the Xbox studios. You can pretty much guarantee the Bethesda games and the ABK games, they're going to go multi-plat, right? There might be time exclusivity with Windows, right? So, and I don't know if Starfield eventually goes over, but I wouldn't be surprised if Elder Scrolls 6 is a timed exclusive or maybe even day and date. If they make a remake for Oblivion, I'm pretty sure that's coming to PlayStation. Things like that. I would just expect those to kind of just go over. And the majority of their game studios really are in those ABK and Bethesda arena, right? So then it comes to the Xbox studios. How many of those games are going to move over? Well, they're already talking about like Halo going over, right? And is it Gears if that's going to go with? So how many of those are going to stay exclusive? I don't know, right? So I can kind of see where that's coming from, that the majority of the games will likely have day one, if not really right afterwards, have a port ready to go. And a lot of those studios, especially the ones they bought, they're used to making ports for PlayStation, right? So I'm sure it's not difficult for them to do it. So they probably have the knowledge to go ahead and make both. The Switch 2 is going to be a new one, right? Because a lot of the games don't come to Switch, but that would be a new one to do. So that one might take more time. Once they figure it out, though, hopefully they can keep doing that as well. But that one's going to take a little bit more, right? Because that really is a different type of beast. It's not an x86 system, right? So it's going to be a little bit more of a challenge. Exactly. So we'll see what they do with that. But the statement makes sense to me. But I understand what you're saying. You can interpret it in different ways. I get it, but.
And that's the problem. Where Matt is
similar, so
Matt is pretty cut and dry.
Yeah,
right?
very clear about
Matt
it.
Booty's statement is cut and dry. And this
Matt also doesn't have any other agenda than to come out here and tell us what they're planning to do, right?
Well, I hope not. But
And he's also in there. So
he's the one who's making these decisions as well. You know what I'm saying? So, I just think, and I'm not saying that it's some crazy bad intention of what he wrote here, but I think he's just doing a little double speak here because it's all just made up. You know what I'm saying? Like, is there truth to it? Sure,
this is all rumor, right?
100%.
Because he's not running Microsoft in any way, right? He's not in the executive chain here at all.
Exactly.
This is just
and he's not hearing it from an executive
media dude. That's
what I'm saying.
He's
hearing it from somebody.
Demo, you haven't said much
this
whole time, bro. What's going on? You got anything to add?
God, Demo was here.
Demo's fucking getting some shit in. He's ranking up somewhere. He's muted too.
All right. So, y'all were talking about the whole thing, and I'm like so uninterested in all this shit that I'm here playing Doom. OG Doom. That's what I was playing here on the side. I was just chilling unlocking achievements and shit. I'm like, bro, who in the hell cares, bro? At this point, it's like
so happy you're here, Demo, to discuss all these topics. I mean, every time you open your mouth and tell us who the hell cares, I'm like, good thing he showed up. Like, what do you think? Did we show up to watch your profile, play video games? Is that what this is supposed to be?
That's funny. That's funny,
bro. It's just like you know, this topic is so tiring because it's like all speculation. We don't even know what the hell is going on, where all this is coming from. The way that they do these interviews, it's just like so not like the way that you do things. It's just like I see Phil Spencer down the street and I stop and I'll be like, yo, like, do you think it's on Xbox? Like it's just like so annoying. They might be saying like whatever, but like get off my back. So I don't know. I don't believe none of this. Honestly, I feel like it's all like bullshit. People trying to like just like you said, just like bringing something out it at the right moment, right when Xbox is doing something. So I mean, how come this happens every freaking time? It's just like so weird that we always get the same piece of news at the same time, right? During the before the show, right? Before something big is going on with Xbox, is that we get this. So that's what I'm coming from. It feels like you know, these people just trying to make a headline out of nothing, out of nowhere. They're just trying to make their content, and I respect it. But at the
I
same
mean, they
time,
just
it's
want
just
the
like,
clicks.
yeah, they just want the clicks. It's just like this guy Tom Henderson, isn't like the one who has like the notepad thing. He wants everybody to be subscribed, and then here and there he'd be like, "Oh, there's a new Xbox exclusive game that's coming to PlayStation." He likes to make noise like that. So this is the way I see this. I'm not saying this is not gonna happen. All I'm saying this is like we don't know yet. Like Microsoft is always changing this strategy. I was saying it earlier. So I mean, they could just like look at it based based by case. The other thing is like we know that some of the games were like destined to drop on PlayStation from the get-go, like like the new Wolfenstein is gonna drop on PlayStation day one. Same situation that happened with Doom, same situation that happens with Call of Duty. Maybe the new Crash Bandicoot, or whatever else, the new Diablo, when they make the new Diablo, the next sequel or whatever, it's gonna drop on PlayStation, because that's something that we know they keeping all these new studios that they acquired after Bethesda, right? After the OG studios, they acquired Bethesda, then ABK, then it becomes like, okay, we acquired these studios. They got big franchises. They require to be everywhere because they're super popular. They also being dropping their games on PlayStation all of these times. So for us to just go ahead and make it exclusive to us, it'll be like, leaving behind a bunch of people who want to play these games. And at the end of the day, these devs, the whole point of you making a game so that people play it, right? And I'm pretty sure that they want more people to play the game. So I don't know. I don't care about it. Like CMoney said, like we got sort of a little bit of immunity to this, right? It doesn't bother us anymore. Like chat down there, they like not even talking about it. Nobody's crying. Team Dog ain't saying shit either. Like everybody's over it. At this point, that's the way I feel. Everybody's over it. That's what I
Except
wasn't
for the
interested.
54,000 articles and Twitter posts.
Look,
yeah, that's it.
Rumors. There's some rumors that are interesting. Like, we were talking about the Xbox Direct and how exciting it was, and
That is
was
exciting.
pumped. You got so much energy and shit, but this is like, like what is this? We got so much fun shit to talk about, man. So I feel like it's just like a nothing burger, a stupid ass rumor that people make, like just because they don't want to see Xbox succeed. That's what it is, man. That's what I think it is.
All right, let's finish up this because we already made it this far. There's only 2 more paragraphs, and then we'll shut this shit down. But so if this wait, is this the nope, this is the part that we read. Okay, yeah. So for more games, the PlayStation Nintendo Switch version will either be ready to go on launch day or some months after the fact. The studios building these games will enjoy the sorts of income and investment that will help them get to the next level. I mean, that's a little wild of a statement because they're already having that without any of that shit, right? Like, just the benefit of being an Xbox has shown that these people have been putting out better quality shit. What remains to be seen is how Xbox hardware can survive no longer having exclusive games as a selling point. Xbox's unique features like Xbox Game Pass have so far not proven to be the system seller Microsoft might have hoped for. You could argue that competition from free-to-play games and other non-gaming time sinks have reduced many people's need to own hundreds of games that make up the service. Microsoft has sought to offer perks like blanket access to characters in games like Valorant and League of Legends to give value even for free-to-play service game players, but I argue it doesn't go far enough to entice that cohort. That's wild. I don't know what you're supposed to
PlayStation
do. Fucking
got
offer them
exclusive
blood?
games now, and Xbox don't have exclusive games. That's weird. It's like
That's so,
you know, like I don't know, like The Last of Us is not on PC, right? Like last time I checked, it was. So
yeah. Like, there's no way to access a PlayStation game. Like you can't just buy the little tablet, the little cloud device to play.
They're just like making it seem like I don't know, like playing Tetris. When you play Tetris and you try to make everything like fit the way you want it, so that you can get the next bar and the next bar and whatever. So I think that's what they're doing, dude. This is just like it's just like made up shit, bro. At this point.
Agreed. It continues without exclusive games. It's easy to argue that the reasons to own an Xbox console have become diminished. Xbox Cloud Gaming may be a saving grace, though, as the service recently hit new milestones, according to our sources. Xbox Cloud Gaming shares a development environment with Xbox consoles. After all, as the service grows, more and more developers will be able to offer content directly on devices like TVs and low-power laptops. Buy-to-own cloud games will potentially keep Xbox relevant enough to keep developers interested, even if retail console sales continue to flag. With Microsoft's next-gen consoles currently in development, Xbox's future as a content provider has never been stronger, but questions remain over its long-term mileage as a platform holder, though. Questions Xbox may be unable to answer. This is, I think, like this last couple paragraphs are the reason why I hate these conversations, because they just show how full of shit these opinions are. Because to think for a second that you're going to discredit everything else about Xbox that people love, especially just basic shit like controllers, that there's just you play Xbox forever, you don't like a PlayStation controller, like that. Like most people don't buy exclusives. Like most people don't. Like let's be clear.
Yep.
Most people who own an Xbox and most people who own PlayStation don't buy exclusives, don't play exclusives. So what is your reasoning for all the people who own an Xbox right now who don't buy the fucking exclusives? There's 35 million, 40 million people who own an Xbox. And I just need to know, how many of these exclusives have sold 35 to 40 million copies? Not played through Game Pass, sold 30 to 40 million copies.
Yep.
Not many. So if the majority of people who own an Xbox, who purchase an Xbox without buying exclusives, right? Why would they all of a sudden no longer want to buy the console if they don't give a shit about the exclusives? Like, let's be clear. Sea of Thieves, 40 something million, that's on Xbox One and Series X and PC. That's not Xbox Series only, right? So you still got 30 to 40 million people who own an Xbox Series console, either the S or the X, that, again, even if you cut down to how many are going to buy the next gen, again, most of the hardcore is on Game Pass, right? Most of the hardcore is on Game Pass. So everybody else who is not buying a game that's exclusive to Xbox, like, how do you say, like, how much sense does this make? You know what I'm saying? Like, most people are not doing it. So why would they not buy another Xbox? Why would Xbox not want to keep making the money that they make from Fortnite and from, all these games, right? I mean, they own Call of Duty now and Minecraft and shit. But like, why would they not want to keep these prices, like keep these people, right? Like, this doesn't make any sense. I don't understand. I feel like it's so disingenuous to even put that concept of a thought out there. If you want to talk about third-party interests, okay, no problem. There's 30, 40 million people who own a goddamn Xbox. Like 30 million, 40 million people who own an Xbox. Then these games are on PC, and then these games are on PlayStation. All combined, how many third-party studios who are selling regular games, not the big behemoths that you know and love, who are selling regular games, the vast majority of games that are released, how many of those games are selling 10, 15, 20 million copies?
That's rare right now.
It's rare.
Super rare.
Right? It's rare. So if these small studios who are releasing games, or these bigger studios that are releasing games that are not doing 10 million between PC, Xbox, and PlayStation, that they're not doing 10, 20, 30 million copies of their games sold, how the fuck would any of them say, not worth putting my game on Xbox, not worth putting my game in front of another 20, 30 million fucking eyes? Come on, man. Come on, that's bullshit. That's absolutely bullshit, bro. Do you agree? I mean, or do you think, legit that based off of what they're saying right now, if Xbox doesn't have absolute 100% exclusives at all, so they come out as a timed exclusive, no, that's not good enough, right? If they have no exclusives, you're telling me that all the people who buy an Xbox are just gonna say, I don't need an Xbox now. Just gonna buy a PlayStation.
Yep.
Yeah, the idea of it sounds ridiculous.
Yep.
The answer is the change that's coming. I mean, it's now kind of out there already that what I'd been telling you, Windows is the answer. And once that happens, it's game over. It doesn't matter. People are going to buy Windows anyway. And if you could have a Windows-powered console that has everything, literally all the games, why wouldn't you just buy that? What do you gain by getting the exclusive machine PlayStation when you could just literally have everything in Steam? Why wouldn't you want that?
Yep.
And it's got a controller interface. It's got the Xbox ecosystem, automatic cloud saves. No, like, oh, you have to pay for that shit. It just works. And it's Windows. It's what everybody already fucking knows. Like, why wouldn't you just want that? It's over. Once that happens, it's done. Because now you can buy any freaking provider you want. Lenovo, you can buy Alienware, you can buy Dell. It doesn't matter. You have an Xbox. You have an Xbox from whichever provider you like, and they have access to all the games, including PlayStation's games. The whole argument of exclusivity is done. Do PC players sit there and say, I need my exclusives? No. They don't care. They don't care. They just get the games. That's it. They get the games. And that's what's going to end up happening. You're going to have a freaking PC. You pick whatever performance plateau you want, and you just get all the games. Who gives a shit? At that point, it just doesn't matter. Yep. I can play my games. That's all that matters. And I can get any deal I want. I can get the game from Epic. I can get the game from Steam. I can go to, whichever discount store, give me the best deal possible for my games. Who gives a shit? I get to play my games. I want to get Game Pass. I got it. Ubisoft Plus. I got it. I want EA Play Pro. I got it. I don't care. I can play whatever I want. That's
PS
what
Plus
Microsoft's going to do. The funny thing is, I bet you that's going to happen.
Of course.
I bet you that's going to happen. I think they're going to bring it over to PC because they'd be foolish not to. And they're going to bring a store over to PC. They'd be foolish not to. And then you can buy your games from PlayStation directly and play them on your PC as well, which will be your Xbox. This is the thing that they're doing. They're going to blur the lines, and it just won't freaking matter. At that point, who cares? The exclusivity thing is done. There's 1 billion plus gamers on Windows. It's over. There's no way PlayStation can compete with that.
Nope.
It's over. And that's where they're headed. That's where they're headed. You want to play on a desktop with your 240 hertz monitor? Sure. You want to play under a TV? Sure. They're going to give you all the options. They don't care. Right? You want to take it with you on a laptop? No problem. Right? They'll give you everything. Right? You want to get a mobile mobile gaming device? No problem. They'll give you all the formats you want. But ultimately, it's going to be a Windows Xbox hybrid, and you're just going to be able to play whatever the heck you want to, wherever you want to, and your library will just come with you.
Yep.
And once that happens, yeah, PlayStation better get on board, or they're going to get screwed. So that's the way it is, right? If they don't have any freaking games, which they don't, like, what are they going to offer you? Hey, you can buy this one machine that can sit under your TV, and that's all you got, or you can go to Windows. You can take it with you. You can run it wherever you want, however you like, do whatever you want, play whatever you want from wherever you want. Why would you want the stupid PlayStation? Well, like, you can have any controller you like. You can have any accessory you like. You like anything you want. It's all open. Do whatever you like, right? Have a controller interface, the Xbox interface, have all your Xbox games, have all your PC games. I just don't see why you would want something else. The next generation has already decided they're PC and mobile. They're not playing on freaking PlayStation. They're not playing on Xbox. They're playing on mobile and PC. Microsoft recognized it and said, well, we'll just merge the two. Y'all have fun now. And that's it. That's the answer. The exclusivity question goes away because now all those PlayStation games are available to you. You'll play them on your Xbox.
And see, I mean, and Steam essentially made it like official with the ability to put Steam on your device. Like, it is just a thing now, right? Mm-hmm. So, I mean, Xbox that's already greenlit. There's no conversation needed to be had. It's hey, we're going to put your Steam thing right into the box. It's what's happening. You know what I'm saying? And it's giving us options, right? It's giving the people who like owning Xboxes options where you're no longer stuck. And they're going to streamline it. So it's not going to be like having a PC and dealing with the mouse and keyboard bullshit.
Exactly.
And having that, even on Steam, right? Even on Steam, there's games still that require it and shit like that, right? So you have to, like, there's still, this game doesn't work 100% with it or whatever. But on Xbox, they're going to be able to make sure that it all works on their stuff. And then between Steam, they're giving you those options available to you so you can go ahead and use it. I can't wait. I mean, I think for us, it's so clear to see what they're doing. And it's so weird to see people who can't come to grips with it.
Yeah, especially people who freaking works on this shit, who they literally went to school for this shit and dedicated themselves like full days and, you know, like the whole freaking shift, 9 to 5, writing articles and shit. And they can still figure out what we know with, like, you know, I can see the future to me is being able to play how I want to play. And whatever I want to play, whenever I want to play, utilize. If I want to use a PlayStation controller on my Xbox, which I never will, of course, but if I wanted to, right, because I smoked crack or something that day, I could go ahead and plug it in. If I want to play, you know what I mean, plug in a Nintendo Switch controller, I could go ahead and plug it in like that, like everything, like. They literally, controllers do the same shit. So why they're not compatible? Like headsets. There's some headsets that are not compatible with Xbox, not compatible with PlayStation. Why? That's so freaking ridiculous and stupid when we know the technology is there, the technology is compatible. So everything should be compatible with everything so that we have more accessibility. And you know what I mean? So it's easier for you to go ahead and buy your accessories and, you know, things that you use on your gaming, which is also, you know, good for you. At the end of the day, that's what we want. We want, you know, like, to make it more comfortable. Why make it more complicated? Like Sony PlayStation, oh, you need to buy a whole box, and then when you buy the box, oh, you need a physical disc. So you know what I'm like? Come on, bro. Like, it's over. like you said, Hargate, I love that you said that. It's over. Exclusives don't matter. People crying for Halo and all the games going on other platforms, and we already able to play those games with a mobile phone. Everybody has a damn phone. You have Game Pass app. That's it. You can play Master Chief Collection. It's been years since that was like implemented, right? So that's being done with. So come on, guys. come on. Yeah. So yeah.